Ladies and gentlemen on YouTube, it's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to All Elite Wrestling Review, the show from August 20th, 2021. This was your second episode of AEW Rampage, where they're calling it the first dance. And you have your commentators in Mark Henry, Excalibur, Taz, and good old JR Jim Ross. Now here's the thing about that. I don't know if there's going to be the thing that we're going to be doing when it comes to format commentaries, which, Tony Khan, before said they're not going to be doing four commentators. But maybe on this night, it was a special night because of what happened on the opening show. Which, by the way, they were at Chicago, Illinois at the United Center. And it was a jam-packed crowd, folks. A huge jam-packed crowd. By the way, I just came home from work. As you can see, I'm still in my uniform. And I immediately just came up here because I did watch AEW Rampage after work was over. But also, at the same time, I was watching the opening, which I missed 11 minutes of it. The opening of AEW Rampage of who was there. And it's been teased for a while. I'll just say that. It's been teased for a while. Not knowing if he's going to be there or not. But because the crowds, were there in the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, sold out, packed crowd, immediately chanting CM Punk. As you can see for this, CM Punk. People bought tickets. People came to the show because of CM Punk. So, how the show opened up? Obviously, as I already mentioned, with CM Punk chants, and then all of a sudden, the Cult of Personality theme music, the theme song of Living Color, played, and out comes CM Punk, the best in the world, the straight edge superstar, the straight edge wrestler, the straight edge leader of the straight edge society, the straight edge hardcore personality himself, the best in the world. CM Punk came out with thunderous ovation. AEW did not waste any time. They did not want to bullshit us. They didn't want to do any type of swerve. They didn't want to try to play with us. They immediately had CM Punk out there to kick off the show. And what it was. Now, here's the thing. Again, I may have missed 11 minutes of the show. When I caught AEW Rampage on my tablet, I saw CM Punk in the ring, sitting in any seated position like he did before, back in 2011. And when I saw that, I immediately marked out. I couldn't believe what I saw right there. CM Punk opened up the show of AEW Rampage, the first dance, and I got a little emotional. For that. And CM Punk was sucking it in with the crowds, getting in there with the crowds, hugging crowds, and everything. And then crowds are chanting for CM Punk. All of a sudden, they immediately went to commercial break from there. After the commercial break, that's when CM Punk decided, it's time to cut a promo. So, CM Punk didn't plan what he's going to say, but he didn't know what he was going to feel. Says that he needed to feel it. Punk feels Chicago. Another incredible loud CM Punk chant as I was going by. CM Punk says that what he heard for 7 years, he heard them, pertains to CM Punk chants. He says that we got a lot of to cover, basically. There's a good news and bad news to cover. We won't be getting into any bad news now, but good news is that he has the time on Wednesdays, Fridays, and on Sundays or maybe Saturdays pertains to where any type of schedules changes or any plans changes pertains to AEW having their pay-per-views on either on the Sunday or on the Saturday. But either way, he's got time, and he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going anywhere. CM Punk is here. He is back in pro wrestling, and he says the most important thing he'll say right now is that the people at home, those that bought tickets, and any of those people in the back, if any of the person's decisions he's made in the life and don't feel disappointed or look let down, and Punk understands, he understands everything about the whole situation, for 7 years, suppose he supposed everyone to try to understand that he was never going to get healthy, physically, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally, staying in the same place that got him sick in the first place. And we don't know what place he's talking about. He didn't even need to say. Y'all already know where he was at when he felt sick at. And CM Punk asked if he can tell a story. So as CM Punk's going to tell a story, he's removing his hoodie. He reviews a new Best in the World CM Punk T-shirt, which by the way I did order it. It took me a while because I'm pretty sure the AEW shop online website broke. The internet basically broke because of the sales, because people are buying these CM Punk T-shirts already, and I finally got a chance to buy me the T-shirt, and I cannot wait to get that T-shirt. So yeah, CM Punk reviews a new T-shirt of Best in the World. Now the WWE one was great too. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to buy that T-shirt, unfortunately. But now I get the opportunity to buy a T-shirt on AEW's portion of it. And CM Punk all of a sudden he goes sitting down, cross-legged, Indian position, like he did from the classic pipe bomb promo he did from 2011, like I mentioned before. And he felt like he had to leave. And that happened at Ring of Honor. August 13th, 2005 was his last night at Ring of Honor. Punk had tears in his eyes at I see his promo. And he also had tears in his eyes when he had to leave when he had to leave to go to the other place. And he says now he knows now he knows why he had tears. Punk had made a home in his place in Ring of Honor that loved professional wrestling. He cried because he knew he was leaving a place that he loved. It was a home, and he knew where he was going. It wasn't going to be easy for a guy like him, which it was true, because he's like the fans. And he says on August 13th, 2005, he left professional wrestling. And then he says in August of 2021, he's back. Basically, I'm back. And the crowds erupted with cheers. So basically, he's right, because he did left pro wrestling when he left Ring of Honor, because he went to sports entertainment, and sports entertainment is not professional wrestling. Even the owner of the WWE doesn't see his own company as professional wrestling. He sees his company as a sports entertainment. AEW, on the other hand, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling, MLW, Major League Wrestling, any type of wrestling promotions, when you look at it, is professional wrestling. Even the dying days of ECW and WCW were, and also pertains to WWCW, World Class. It pertains to NWA, pertains to AWA. Those are professional wrestling. Stampede Wrestling, Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Whichever you look at it, that's professional wrestling at its finest. That's professional wrestling what it used to be. WWE nowadays is no longer professional wrestling. They don't look at professional wrestling as something to market. So, CM Punk said he's back for the fans, and he's not gonna lie. He said he's back for himself, but he's also back for the fans. There's a hell of a lot of young talent that he wishes that he was surrounded by 10 years ago. Punk figured that they were here. Punk figured that that they're here, and why not him? Now he's here. Punk is back. Because he wants to work with the young talent and the same passion he did. He's back because there are a few scores to settle in the locker room. Punk is back for young guys like Darby Allin, the Enigma, Darby Allin. So Darby Allin and Sting were at the Raptors looking on CM Punk, and CM Punk looking up and all that, and it says Darby Allin is good. He's seen him, and also like I said, he's seen him up there. He sees him jumping off planes, airplanes, off the top ropes, off the stairs, and he keeps coming back. Darby Allin is tough like Chicago is. CM Punk is here to help Darby Allin. Darby Allin is the daredevil. There's nothing more dangerous than wrestling with CM Punk, especially in Chicago. And CM Punk said he will see Darby Allin, and he will see Sting on September 5th at All Out, which is also going to be in Chicago. And CM Punk says he's back, he's fired up and all that, and then he says, "Oh yeah, and one more thing. For 7 years, people have waited a long time. On the way out of the United Center, the crowd can grab an ice cream bar." Now, this may not be an ice cream bar, but it is an ice cream sandwich. And AEW, all I want to say is, because WWE does not want to give us what we want, but because AEW is all about giving the people what they want, like how Excalibur always say, Excalibur on commentary always say, you got to get the people what they want. And what the people want is, they want ice cream. We, AEW fans, for you, AEW, to give us ice cream, because we want ice cream. Not just any ice cream, but we want an ice cream bar, like how the original World Wrestling Federation, the WWF ice cream bars back in the 90s. Hell, it may have even started back in the 80s. Which I need to look up probably, but I remember growing up, buying those WWF ice cream bars. And WWE nowadays are doing ice cream sandwiches, which is, CM Punk did a review on that one. He says it's not the best ice cream. I mean, of course not, because it's WWE nowadays. But same time, we AEW fans, all we want, because now we got CM Punk there, we want ice cream bars. Give us ice cream bars. Give us something that WWE did not want to give us, since they stopped doing the whole ice cream bars. For God knows how long they stopped doing that shit. We want ice cream bars officially from All Elite Wrestling AEW, because of one guy who's now part of AEW in CM Punk. And yes, I'm doing the whole DMD thing by Dr. Bricker DMD. Now that I finished with the ice cream sandwich that I just ate, delicious by the way, better than WWE ice cream. But then again, I never tried the ice cream sandwich that WWE has out right now. So, but I digress. But yeah, folks, you have no idea. I was emotional, a little emotional, for a guy like me who was never big on CM Punk when I first heard about him and when I first saw him. I was never that big on CM Punk. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's now a draw, that he never going to amount to anything. He was not anything special, that there was no value in him. There was nothing that made me care about him. Because I did see the potential at the end of the day. Even though I wasn't big on CM Punk, but I did see the potential. I do get why people can relate to CM Punk. I do get why he's a big deal. The problem is, WWE never wanted to show his personality. They never wanted to show how big of a deal he was. Never given the opportunity to show what he can do to be a top guy. And it really sucks. It's been done. Obviously, it's been done with a lot of guys too, like a Bryan Danielson, Dolph Ziggler, Jon Moxley. But same time, with Dolph Ziggler, fuck him. Just to name a few. But hell, even Cody Rhodes, they never even gave Cody Rhodes a chance. That's what sucks about the whole team of Cody Rhodes in WWE. Never got the opportunity to become a world champion. Never got the opportunity to even challenge for a world title. Never even wanted to give him that chance. So CM Punk, of all those years in WWE, who was miserable, unhappy, who was sick, who was hurt, and they never really cared for him. They never wanted to be the focal point, even though he can draw them a lot of money and draw them a lot of viewers, and draw them a lot of a stock. But they decided not to go with him because he was not part of their plan. Same thing with Bryan Danielson, not part of their plan, so they decided to go against it because it's not what they want, and that's bad for business at the end of the day. What was best for business is pushing guys like a CM Punk. What was best for business is for pushing guys like a Bryan Danielson. What was best for business is giving the fans who they want, what they want, and who they're sick and tired of seeing in the main event platform. Fans did not want to see John Cena no more. Fans didn't want to see Randy Orton no more. Fans didn't want to see Triple H no more in the main event spot. They got sick and tired of that shit. They even got sick and tired of seeing Sheamus in there. And it's nothing personal against Sheamus. I love Sheamus, but I saw the people didn't want Sheamus in that main event either. And I could understand that too because they were overrating him. They were and they were fucking him up. They were fucking him up too. They got tired of seeing Big Show in that main event. They got tired of seeing Kane in that main event. You know, the big red machine. They wanted someone new. They wanted someone that they could relate to get behind. CM Punk and Bryan Danielson was one of those guys, and even Dolph Ziggler to a point. And what do? They went against it because they were not part of their plans. So the fact that CM Punk got sick and tired of the company and decided to leave, I don't blame him. After all these years, I don't blame him. I never wanted to blame him for leaving that company because the company did him wrong. There's a lot of wrongs that WWE has done, even back in the before there was a CM Punk, before there was a Bryan Danielson. There's been a problem with the company, i.e. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the senile old man who's out of touch, who doesn't give a fuck about any of these talents, or I don't think he even cares about the company either. All he cares about is money, because he's a greedy son of a bitch. And on top of that, he's a fucking devil. When I see someone treating the wrestlers and treating the fans and treating how everything that's been going on over these years of the WWE company, he is the definition of a devil. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. So yeah, CM Punk is here in AEW. He should have been here before, back in 2019, due to some dispute and disagreements pertains to the EVPs. He should have been part of this company. But he's here now, and hopefully everything is put behind them. With CM Punk making amends with Colt Cabana, Matt Hardy, the Young Bucks, whoever else in AEW that he's also had issues with, but maybe that's been put behind them. Hopefully that's been put behind them, and to focus on what AEW should be, an alternative and the best wrestling company they could ever possibly put out against their competition in WWE. Because let's face it, AEW is competition to WWE. No matter how WWE is going to deny and dispute and trying to be tone deaf about the whole thing and trying to act like that AEW is not competition. Well, guess what? When the AEW guys like CM Punk, Sting, or Darby Allin, or Sammy Guevara, or Chris Jericho, or John Moxley, or Hangman Adam Page, or Thunder Rosa, or Dr. Britt Baker DMD, and then you got Bryan Danielson coming in pretty soon. You got maybe you got Anna Cole coming in pretty soon, if that's possible. Or Ruby Soho, a former basically a former Ruby Riot, Malachi Black, and maybe a Buddy Murphy, who's not gonna be called Buddy Murphy. He's gonna be called something else. I forgot what his other name was. and you got up-and-comer talents that's gonna be are gonna be the future of AEW. We got those type of stars in the company. You're damn right that AEW is a fucking competition to WWE. Because WWE nowadays don't give a fuck about what we want anymore. But that's all I'm gonna say from there. Great to see CM Punk there. It's great to see CM Punk back in pro wrestling. He's home where he belongs, and that is in pro wrestling. Because WWE killed his passion back in those days when he first came in there to his very end. They kill his passion. They kill all of his love and interest in pro wrestling until finally he got that love back. He got the passion back, and I couldn't be more happier for CM Punk. There you go. Also, we get Christian Cage, the Impact World Champion. He was with Jungle Express backstage. But Christian Cage says that the Young Bucks are, they can use their EVP privilege to hire all the cornies, excuse me, and keep their titles, but they can't beat Jungle Express. As for Kenny Omega, Christian Cage has his number. He will beat Kenny Omega at All Out, which he's not, for the AEW World Championship title, which he's not. So there you go. Very first, get this out of the way first, folks. Tomorrow wrestling matches were 3 matches, obviously. That's gonna be the theme for AEW Rampage. Just 3 matches. I'll be surprised in the future they might pull in like about 4 matches in there. It depends, but we'll see how next week's shapes up. But this is we get to the AEW Tag Team Eliminator semi-final match between Pirate Party of Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy being coming by Matt Hardy of the Hart Family Office versus Jungle Express of Jungle Boy Luchasaurus with Marcus Stunt, excuse me. I said on the live reactions of Miss Rika J21's YouTube channel, I thought it was gonna be Pirate Party versus the Lucha Bros, but I was wrong. It was actually Jurassic Express. So Lucha Bros are gonna be up against the other tag team. What's the other tag team? Alright, for the other tag team, I'm fine. Oh, the Varsity Blondes. Unfortunately, they're gonna lose. The Varsity Blondes. I don't see Varsity Blondes beating Lucha Bros. But the match happens between Pirate Party versus Wrestling Express. It was a very good match. Jungle Boy and not Jungle Boy. Matt Hardy and Marcus Stone were having their fight outside. In the end, it was a good match, by the way. A very good match. No. At this point now, folks, now that CM Punk is there, now these guys are going to be definitely stepping their games up. At this point now, anyone from AEW, even if you're not an AEW wrestler signed to AEW, then you're not all elite. This is the time and the place to now step your game up and to show why AEW is the place to be. Hopefully, this will help the Young Bucks stop all this corny bullshit they're doing. And actually take this shit seriously, and actually go back to what they do before, and that's stepping their games up. Hopefully that whole thing with CM Punk being there now can give them a wake up call. Take this shit seriously for once in your fucking lives now. Take this shit fucking seriously, because this is not the place to be fooling around. All Elite Wrestling should not be a place to be fooling around this time. With all this corny bullshit. Take this shit seriously at this time. In the end, it was Jurassic Express winning the match, which I expected them to. My prediction is that Jurassic Express is gonna win. They're gonna win the tournament to go up against the Young Bucks and then still get all out. The AEW World Champion Kenny Omega and Don Callis were backstage. Don Callis says that another fluke win just happened. And Kenny Omega says that a Rampage was made for him. And he says that All Out Christian Cage will wish that he had never came back to wrestling when Batista come out of retirement. So there you go. Nothing to say about that. It was short to the point. We get a video promo of Jade Cargill saying that she's normally doesn't play with her food, and she's going to show that tonight that she'll feast Period. Basically, mocking Kiera Hogan's catchphrase. Period. So you get Jade Cargill with smart Mark Sterling versus the Girl on Fire, the hottest flame, the hottest free agent, Kiera Hogan. Period. So match happens, and it wasn't that long, folks. Unfortunately, which I knew was that Kiera Hogan was going to win here, but at the same time, I expected this match to be like maybe a little longer. But then again, you did have CM Punk out there, to cut his promo and soaking in the whole thing with him returning to pro wrestling. So if anything had to be a short match here, it was this match, unfortunately. So Jade Cargill and Kiera Hogan locks up. Jade Cargill shows her power by pushing down on Kiera Hogan. Kiera Hogan fights back, knocks her to the corner, and goes gets a roundhouse gets a roundhouse kick there. She goes for an avalanche, but she's too long. To a point where Jade Cargill goes for her big boot, the pump kick, and then goes for her jaded and got the win. There you go. But anyway, I was too proud for Kiera Hogan, for wrestling in front of a huge crowd. This ain't her first time wrestling over in front of a huge crowd on dark elevations. Obviously, that counts too. But at the same time, it needs to count on televised TV on TNT instead of on YouTube on the internet. So either way, it's great that Kiera Hogan gains opportunity. Hopefully, AEW sees some potential and sees something special in Kiera Hogan after on the show. Now there was not much for her to really showcase, because at the end of the day, it was all to showcase Jade Cargill. So hopefully AEW gives Kiera Hogan another look and another shot, another opportunity, and another tryout for Kiera Hogan. And maybe, who knows, eventually she'll get signed to AEW. Who knows? Hopefully they do. And hopefully they'll treat her right, unlike Impact Wrestling. They announced that CM Punk is going to be making his first appearance on AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, which I cannot wait to see. Now, I'll be there to watch it live at home to see a CM Punk there. This time I'll catch you watching it on time to watch it, which I cannot wait. Meanwhile, also the Varsity Blondes will take on Lucha Bros in the semifinal match. Red Velvet will take on Jamie Hayter, aka Becky Lynch. You have Orange Cassidy who'll take on Matt Hardy. Who cares? Well, Ace is not on All Out, so Ace, because the Ace is a blessing. And that's gotta be Malachi Black, who's looking to fight Brock Anderson. Fight me. And all this will happen on Dynamite on Wednesday. Next Friday, I meant to say, on Rampage, it'll be the finals of the elimination, of the AEW Tag Team Eliminator Tournament of Jurassic Express, and whoever's gonna win between the Varsity Blondes and Lucha Bros. But let's face it, it's gonna be the Lucha Bros. And the winners will face the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team titles at All Out, inside of a steel cage, to prevent any interferences. But let's face it, it's not even gonna matter. Because we're not stupid. We've seen a lot of we've seen a lot of steel cage matches before where, this will help the matters because no one's gonna interfere in the steel cage match. Bullshit. You can't insult our touches for that, folks, because even though when there are steel cage involved in this whole situation, you're still gonna have people interfere either way. I mean, a distraction. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But hopefully they will stop with this whole, run-in and interference and distractions. Because enough is enough of this shit. And it's not the point where it's giving them heel heat. No, it's not. It's not the type of heel heat that it should be getting. It's the go away heat. That's what it is. That's go away heat. Mark Henry backstage with 2.0 and also, Daniel Garcia. Basically the whole thing they did last week when Mark Henry's doing the split screen. He's in the center. You got John Moxley on this side, and you got Daniel Garcia and 2.0 on that side. Daniel Garcia says that he has to beat John Moxley in the United Center to rise to the top. 2.0 says that people have waited 20 years for the main event like this. And then also Mark Henry asks John Moxley about the attack that happened on Dynamite. And Moxley says that Garcia has a better chance of getting him pregnant. He literally said that, by the way. Then submitting him. And he says that it's fitting that this is in the United Center, since he'll bounce Garcia's head off the floor like a basketball. And that was it. And then we get to the main event. John Moxley comes out to Wild Thing, which the crowd did a sing-along of it. So you got Daniel Garcia with 2.0 versus John Moxley with Eddie Kingston at ringside. So Daniel Garcia, very proud of him too. Very happy for him that he's wrestling in front of this live crowd and wrestling in the main event against John Moxley, a top guy, a former AEW World Champion, who carried on the title and carried on the flag banner of the AEW flag on his back during difficult times from last year. And this is a great moment, a great opportunity for Daniel Garcia facing John Moxley in this match. And the match was good. I thought it was a very good match. In the end, it was John Moxley getting the win with the Bulldog lock. After the match, 2.0 attacks John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. All of a sudden, the numbers game is getting the best of Moxley and Kingston. All of a sudden, Darby Allin and Sting comes out, and they start beating up on 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. Sting does a Stinger splash on both 2.0. Sting does a Scorpion Death Drop onto one of the 2.0 guys, and then Darby Allin goes for a cover drop on 2.0, and then Moxley, Kingston, Sting, and Darby stay in the middle of the ring, and they end the show. And that was it, folks. That was the end of the show. So, folks, because of the surprise appearance, well, not surprise appearance, but because of the appearance of CM Punk alone there on the show, and on top of that, the show was good. I thought the show was good either way, even if CM Punk wasn't there. Okay, let's face it. If CM Punk wasn't there, and you see this how the show was, I would give this show either a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. Because CM Punk was there, and the fact that the show was good, despite you had the Young Bucks out there, by the way. Oh, about asking them too. The Young Bucks were out there too, by the way. We're just watching the match of Private Party versus Jurassic Express, but I didn't care either way. But besides that, but because CM Punk was there and the show was good either way, because CM Punk was there, automatic 10 out of 10. Love the show, and this was the first dance. Because they're in Chicago, in front of a huge crowd, a huge mega crowd in the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. All because of one man, the best in the world, has returned to professional wrestling in CM Punk. And I can't wait to get my t-shirt of CM Punk's t-shirt, best in the world. And that being said, folks, thank you for watching this All Elite Wrestling Review. We're changing the AEW Rampage results from August 20th, 2021. For It's Natural Born, the Thriller, saying peace on the streets. Take care.